Hello, welcome to this lesson. In this video, you are going to learn how to solve systems of linear equations using complete pivoting. So let's look at how you are going to do this. Okay, so first of all, I'll start by writing my augmented matrix using the coefficient matrix and then the right hand side. Okay, so you're going to have 2, 3, 5. Okay, then you augment it to the right hand side, so I'll have 1 here. Okay, then you have 4 minus 2, 8. Then you have 3 here. Then you're going to have 0, 4, minus 2, 1. So this will be our augmented matrix. Okay, so one thing about the complete pivoting is that unlike the partial pivoting where we only interchange rows, for the complete pivoting we can interchange both rows and columns. Okay, so let's look at that. And also, for things to be easy for us, I'm going to write the variables on each column. Okay, so you know that the first column you're supposed to have x1, and then on the second you have x2, and then on the third you have what, x3. So I write the variables to there so that it will not confuse us during the solution. Okay, so with the complete pivoting we can interchange both columns and rows. Okay, so let's go what you're going to do. So what we will do is that we will look at all the entries for the coefficient matrix, okay, which is we look at all the entries here, and then we look at the one with the highest absolute value, okay, and then make that our pivot element. So the one with the highest value, what we will do is that we will want it to be at this point here, okay, on the first, we want it to be the first value on the diagonal, okay. So you will find a way to move it there. So let's look at how you are going to do that. Okay, so to do this, looking at where 8 is, okay, it's on row 2, okay, it's on row 2, column what, 3. Okay, so what I'll do is that I will interchange row 2 and row 1. Okay, so I'm going to interchange row 2 and then row 1. Okay, then when we are done, we interchange column 1 and then column 3. Okay, so you're going to interchange column 1 and then column 3 also. So let's look at how you are going to do this. Okay, so first of all, you can do it the other way. You can choose to interchange column 1 and 3 first before you come and interchange row 1 and 2. Okay, they will all work. So first of all, I'm going to interchange row 1 and 2. So you're going to have 4 minus 2, 8, and then 3 here. Okay, and then you will have 2, 3, 5, 1. Okay, so you can interchange row 1 and then row 2. So you still have the 0, 4, minus 2, and then 1 here. So now let's interchange the columns. Okay, so let's look at that. So let me write the operation here. This one was for row 2 becoming row 1 and then row 1 becoming row 2. Okay, so now let's do column 3, okay, becoming column 1. Okay, so now let me rewrite my matrix. Okay, so you want column 3 to become column 1, right? That's using this new matrix. Okay, then let me write the variables to there. Clean this. Okay, so we have this to be x1, this to be x2, and then this to be what, x3. Okay, but now from the new matrix that you have, you want to make column 3 column 1, and then make column 1 column 3. Okay, so you're going to have 8, 5, minus 2. Okay, and then the column 2 will still be there, so you're going to have minus 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then our new column 3 will be 4, 2, 0. Okay, so let's bring the right hand side. We're going to have 3, 1, 1. Okay, so now after interchanging the columns, okay, you notice that x1 was here, okay, and then x3 was here, and then now we have interchanged it, right? So now this will be our x3, okay, and then this will be our x1, and then we still have our x2 here. Okay, so now this is the matrix we have now. Okay, so what you're going to do is that you are going to use this pivot element, okay, to reduce all the other elements below it to what? 0. Okay, so we use this 8 here to make this 5 0, and then this minus 2 also go to 0 because you want to get an upper triangular matrix, so that we can use back substitution to solve. Okay, so how are you going to do this? So the first thing we have to do is to make this 5 here 0. Okay, but how do you make it 0? Okay, so to make the 5 0, okay, you have to subtract a multiple of the 8 from the 5 to make it 0. Okay, so let's look at how you are going to do this. So to do this, what I'll do is that I will divide the 5 by this 8. Okay, and then I'll multiply it through this row 1. Okay, when I do this, you're going to get 5 for the first entry here, and then when you subtract that from this 5, you're going to get 0. Okay, so let's look at how you're going to do this. So what I'll do is that you know that this entry is 5. Okay, so 5, and then you know that 5 minus 5 will give us 0, right? So what I'll do is that when I multiply through row 1 by 5 on 8, okay, I'm going to get 5 for the first entry, right? You're going to have something like 5 minus 5 on 8, okay, multiplying 8, right? And you see that this 8 will cancel out this 8, so then you're going to get what? 5 minus 5, which is what? 0. Okay, so instead of just 5 over 8, you're going to multiply through row 1 by what? Minus 5 on what? 8. Okay, so that you can get 0 for the first entry. So we're going to say that our new row 2, okay, should be equal to the old row 2, okay, minus 5 on 8, okay, multiplying what? Row 1. When we do this, we can make the 5 what? 0. That's all what you want to do. Okay, so let me write this here. This will be the entries for the new row 2. Okay, so for the first one, okay, we are going to have 5, okay, minus 5 on 8, right, multiplying 5. This will give us 5 5 on 8 multiplying 8. This will cause this 8 to cancel out this. And then you're going to get 5 minus 5, and this will be equal to what? 0. So our first entry for the new row 2 is what? 0. And that's one of our main goals here. Alright, so now let's do it for the remaining entries on that particular row. We are going to have 3 minus 5 on 8, okay, multiplying what? Minus 2. So let's simplify that also and see what you're going to get. So you have 3 minus 5 on 8, okay, multiplying minus 2, and that will give us a value of what? 17 on 4. Okay, so that will be our second entry. Okay, so let's look at the third one. For the third one also, you're going to have 2 minus 5 on 8, multiplying 4. Let's see what you're going to get for that. 2 minus 5 on 8, okay, multiplying 4. This will give us a value of what? Minus 1 on 2. Okay, so you have minus 1 on 2. And then now let's look at the right hand side. So for the right hand side also, we're going to have 1, okay, minus 5 on 8, multiplying 3, right? So we have 1 minus 5 on 8, okay, multiplying 3. So this will give us a value of minus 7 on 8. So we're going to have minus 7 on 8 here. So now let's rewrite our matrix. So now we will have 8 minus 2, 4, okay, then you're going to have 3 here, and then you have 0, 17 on 4, minus 1 on 2, minus 7 on 8. Okay, this is what you have, and then you have minus 2, 4, 0, and then 1. But you would like to make this minus 2 also what? 0. Okay, so let's look at how we are going to do this. Okay, so to make this minus 2 also 0, you have to add a multiple, or okay, you have to add or subtract a multiple of the 8 here from what? The 2 to make it 0. So let's look at how you are going to do this. So you have to divide the minus 2, okay, by 8. Okay, when we do this, okay, when we do this, you are going to get minus 1, okay, over 4, right? You're going to get minus 1 over 4. So what I'll do is that I'll multiply this minus 1 over 4 by this 8, okay, and then try and add it to this 2 and see if I'll get what? 0. So I'm going to have minus 2, okay, right, plus minus 1 over 4 multiplying 8, right? When I do this, you're going to get minus 2, and this will give us what? Minus 4, right? Which is not 0, but we want to get what? 0, okay. So for us to be able to get 0, we are going to negate the minus 1 on 4 again. So it's like we multiplying by minus 1. So when you do this, okay, when you do this, instead of you getting minus 1 on 4, we are going to get 1 on 4, right? So when I try it again, we're going to have minus 2 plus, okay, 1 on 4 multiplying what? 8, right? So when I do this, you're going to get minus 2 plus 2, and this will give us what? Our what? 0. So now the factor will now be 1 over 4 and not what? Minus 1 over 4. So we are going to have the new root 3, okay, the new root 3 to be equal to the old root 3, okay, right, plus 1 over 4, okay, multiplying what? Row 1. This is what you are going to have. So let's write down the entries here. Okay, all right, so now let's solve for it. So the first one, you're going to have minus 2, okay, plus 1 over 4 multiplying what? 8, right? And this will give us what? 0. So that's our first entry for the new row 3. And then the second one will be 4, okay, plus 1 over 4, okay, multiplying what? Minus 2. Let's see what you're going to get. We have 4 plus 1 over 4, okay, 1 over 4 times minus 2. This will give us a value of what? 7 on 2. So that will be our second entry. So let's do for the third one. For the third one also, we are going to have 0, okay, plus 1 on 4, okay, multiplying what? 4, right? So this will give us a value of what? 1. So we are going to have 1 here. So now let's look at the right hand side. Okay, let me do that here. So for the right hand side, you're going to have 1, okay, you're going to have 1 plus, okay, 1 over 4, okay, multiplying 3. Okay, so when you do this, you're going to have 1 plus 1 over 4 times 3. That'll give us 7 on 4. So that'll be the right hand side entry also. Alright, so now let's rewrite the matrix. Let me free up some space. Then we continue. Okay, so now rewriting the matrix. Okay, we're going to have 8 minus 2, 4. Then we augment it to the right hand side, 3. Then we're going to have 0, 17 on 4. And then we have minus 1 on 2. And then minus 7 on what? 8. Okay. And then we are going to have 0, 7 on 2, 1, and then 7 on 4. So this is the matrix now. Okay. So now what you have to do is that you will have to get another pivoting element, okay, and then use that to eliminate the value below it or make the value below it 0. So let's look at how you are going to do this. And then one thing you have to know is that normally the pivoting element, okay, must be on the diagonal, okay. So you see that our first pivoting element was 8 and it's on the diagonal. So the next one to be on the diagonal, okay, and it will have to be here so that you can eliminate the value below it, okay, so that you get our upper triangular matrix. So let's look at how you are going to do this. Okay, so for us to get our new pivoting element, okay, we will look at this column here. Okay, we look at this column here. There's no need to consider the values in the first row again. Okay, so just consider these two, okay, and then look at the one which is what bigger, okay, in absolute value. So you have 17 on 4, okay, and then that's the same as the 17 on 4, okay, is the same as 4.25, and then we have 7 on 2, which will give us what 3.5, okay. So between these two values, you see that this value is the biggest one, so that becomes our new pivoting element, okay. So I'm going to use that value, okay, to change this 7 on 2 to what is 0. So let's look at how you are going to do this. So for us to be able to change this 7 on 2 to 0, you have to add or subtract a multiple of the 17 on 4 from what? The 7 on 2. So how do we get that multiple? So to get the multiple, what I'll do is that I will divide 7 on 2, okay, by 17 on 4, okay. That's what I'll do. So when you do this, you're going to get 7 on 2 times 4 on what? 17, right? So let's look at what you're going to get. 7 on 2 times 4 on 17. That gives us a value of what? 14 on what? 17. Okay, so let's go what you're going to do. So you will multiply through this row 2, okay, by 14 on what? 17, and then add or subtract it from what? The row 3. So now let's consider the first element, which is what? The 17 on 4. So you're going to have 17 on 4, okay, times what? 14 on what? 17. This is what you are going to have, okay, and then you are going to add it or subtract it from 7 on 2. So for now, let's add and see what you are going to get. So we have 7 on 2, okay, plus 17 on 4 times 14 on what? 17, okay, times 14 on 17. So when you do this, you are going to get a value of what? 7, but you want to get what? 0, okay. So let's look at what you are going to do. So first of all, let's punch the values in the brackets, which is 17 on 4, okay, times 14 on what? 17. When I do this, I'm going to get 7 over 2 for what you have here, right? So I'm going to have 7 over 2 here. So the reason why I got 7 was that we're going to have 7 over 2 plus 7 over 2, and that'll give us what? 7. But you want to get 0, so what do? You just have to negate this value here, okay. So then you're going to have 7 on 2 minus what? 7 on 2. That'll give us what? 0. Alright, so for us to be able to get a negative here, all you have to do is to negate the multiplier, which is what? The 14 or what? 17. So when I negate this, and then I know that I multiply by the 17 on 14 here, okay, you're going to get a negative here, and then when you subtract it, you're going to get what? The 0 we need, okay. So the operation will be that the new row 3, okay, should be equal to the row 3 star, okay, right, plus minus 14 on 17 multiplying what? Row 2 star, okay. This is what you are going to have. Okay, so now let's use this operation to change the 7 on 2 to what? 0. So I'm actually trying to make you understand the reason why sometimes you multiply by sometimes we add or subtract a multiple of what? One row from the other, okay. You do that because you just want to make some of the entries 0, okay. So whether you want to make it negative or positive depends on um, which entry you want to make what? 0, okay. So let's take note of that, okay. So now let's use this operation to make the 7 on 2 0. So this will be our new row 3 star star, okay. So now let's look at the first entry. So for the first entry, I'm going to have 0, okay. You're going to have 0 plus minus 14 on what? 17 multiplying row 2, which is also what? 0, right? So then you're going to get 0 for the first entry, and then for the second one, we're going to have 7 on 2, okay, plus minus 14 on 7, okay, multiplying what? 7 on what? 14 on minus 14 on 17 multiplying 17 on 4. Alright, so let's do this. You're going to have 7 on 2 minus 7 on 2, and then this will give us what? 0, right? So I guess now you understand the reason why we negated the multiplier, which is what? The 14 on 17. We just want to make this entry here what? 0. That's why we negated it. Sometimes you now have to negate it, okay. Sometimes you now have to negate it to get your 0, so just take note of that. Okay, so now let's look at the third entry. So for the third entry, I'm going to have 1, okay, plus minus 14 on what? 17, okay, multiplying minus 1 over 2. So let's see what you are going to get. So we have 1 plus minus 14 on 17, okay, multiplying minus half. Okay, so this will give us a value of 24 on 17, okay. So we are going to have 0 here and then 24 on 17. So now let's look at our last entry. So now we're going to have 7 on 4, okay, plus minus 14 on 17, okay, multiplying minus 7 on 8. So let's see what you're going to get for that. 7 on 4 plus minus 14, okay, on 17, multiplying minus 7 on 8. So that gives us a value of 42 on 17. So that's our last entry, 42 on what? 17. So now let's rewrite the matrix we have now and then see what we have. So let me free up some space. Then we continue. Okay, so I'm going to write the matrix we have now. Okay, so we have 8 minus 2, 4. Then we have 3 here. Then I'm going to have 0, 17 on 4. Okay, minus half, and then minus 7 on 8. And then the last entries will be the entries here. So I'm going to have 0, 0, 24 on 17, and then we'll have 42 on what? 17. All right, and um, don't forget that we now have our x3 here, right, and then our x1 here, right, and then our x2 is what is still here. So don't forget that as soon as you interchange it, your answers are going to be different. Okay, you will interchange your answers also. So now let's look at our answers. You're going to have 24 on 17 x1, okay, to be equal to 42 on 17, right? So I'm going to have x1 to be equal to 42 on 17, okay, times 17 on what? 24. This will cancel out this, and then you're going to have 42 on 24 to also give us a value of 47 on 4. So I'm going to have x1 to be equal to 7 on 4. Let me write this here, 7 on 4, okay. And then now let's find x2 also. So for x2, you're going to have 17 on 4, x2, okay, minus half x1, okay, and this will be equal to minus 7 on 8. So let's look at that. So you have 17 on 4 x2 minus 1 over 2 multiplying 7 on 4, okay, to be equal to minus 7 on 8. So let's look at that. So half minus half, okay, multiplying 7 on 4, okay. So when you do this, you're going to get minus 7 on 8. So then you're going to have 17 on 4 x2, okay, minus 7 on 8 to be equal to what? Minus 7 on 8. So we take this guy to the right hand side. Okay, so when you do that, you're going to have 17 on 4 x2 equals minus 7 on 8 plus what? 7 on 8. So you're going to get 0 here. So you're going to have x2 to be equal to what? 0. Right, so x2 will be what? 0. So now let's find x3. Okay, so for x3 also, we are going to have 8x3, okay, minus 2x2 plus 4x1, okay, and this will be equal to 3. So we know the value of x2 and then x1. So let's do the substitution. So I have 8x3 minus 2 multiplying 0, okay, plus 4 multiplying 7 on 4 to be equal to 3. So I'm going to have 8x3, okay, minus 0 plus 7, right? This 4 will cancel out this, and this will be equal to 3. So I'm going to have 8x3, okay, to be equal to 3 minus 7, which will give us 8x3 equals minus 4. So you divide both sides by 8, and then I'm going to get x3 to be equal to minus half. Okay, so that will be the value of what? X3. Okay, so this is how to use complete pivoting, okay, to solve system of what? Linear equations. Thank you very much for watching this video.